Cystic fibrosis is a genetic condition that primarily affects the lungs and the digestive system, but over time it will affect every organ of the body except the heart and brain. There are about 700 people in Victoria who are living with cystic fibrosis today. It's the most common genetically acquired condition affecting, life-shortening condition affecting young Australians today.
We were trying to set up a grad program to give the grads some real-world experiences that they wouldn't get exposure to until later in their careers, help them grow as part of the grad program. And cystic fibrosis came to us with a business problem.
We needed to generate revenue independent of ourselves, that we needed a commercial operation, self-generated revenue. And we tasked the NAB grads with that challenge of come up with a self-generated revenue business idea.
And so we took the grads through a series of brainstorming sessions to start looking at what we thought were viable models.
When we got together, Chris would first of all introduce to us the kind of things that we were trying to get out of a particular session. For example, if it was a brainstorming session, he'd give us a little bit of a brief of the kind of things we were trying to do, and then he really just sat back and watched the words fly around, and if things were getting off track, he might pull us back into the centre.
They did have to take one of their ideas, put a pack together for the CEO of Cystic Fibrosis, give him a presentation on that, field the questions that he had, and eventually, get him over to their line of thinking.
There was a lot of argy-bargy before they got here, I gather, about which ones they were going to present, and they knew that they had to convince me that it was going to be viable.
We came up with a couple of ideas. The most successful one to date has been the idea of expanding the existing day of Cystic Fibrosis Day, and it's similar to Daffodil Day or any one of those days, only it's for cystic fibrosis. What we identified was that the charity had an existing relationship with the flower wholesaler, but that relationship wasn't used to the extent that it could be. And essentially we got a situation where the wholesalers were looking for an event for which they could sell more flowers, and CFE were looking to spread their brand and also sell their brand.
And it involves growers and distributors of roses being involved at the wholesale level and at the retail nursery level, raising awareness of cystic fibrosis through appropriate badging and bannering, but also generating funds for the Federation of CF organisations nationally.
As a new batch of graduates have come in for 2010, we've passed over the baton of this idea to them, and they are running with it, they're actioning it.
And we thought we could use NAB's locations in Melbourne and down here at Docklands to help get the message across, and we thought a good way of doing that would be to actually physically sell roses and other CFE merchandise in the NAB branches. The day itself was really rewarding. We spent the majority of the day downstairs selling flowers and handing out brochures.
And they did a fantastic job in retailing the roses to their own staff and own colleagues at 3 of their locations in the city. It was overwhelmingly successful.
The biggest thing I probably learnt is just personal interaction with other people, because we were dealing with the NAB staff and also other contacts around the bank. So it was that personal development, having confidence in myself to talk to other people and to get that message across.
These are relationships that will continue on for the rest of their career, so they're actually starting to build that network into the organisation and really start to understand where they fit into everything, and that they can actually affect the outcomes.
NAB didn't just write a cheque to cystic fibrosis, instead they offered the biggest asset that they have, and that is a skilled workforce. And
we use that skill set, that we get access to an expertise that we could never have dreamed of and could certainly never have afforded.
There is just a very good feeling that you get from actually positively impacting people.
It's that feeling that what I'm doing is beneficial to someone else, and there's a real personal reward for the work that we're doing with this particular cause.
The whole NAB grad project, I think, is, in conjunction with Cystic Fibrosis Victoria, is all about thinking outside the square, and that's about preparing leaders for the future.
It's the opportunity to work on these kind of projects where you can develop and foster your skills and basically talk to people, senior people inside and outside of the bank, that makes the program really attractive.
I think more graduates should get involved in projects like this. Yeah, they've got a lot of things that they can learn from it, and they can get a lot of personal development out of it. And at the end of the day, they're not just helping themselves, they're helping other individuals and other organisations to better the community.